네? 저기 안 돼요? 여기 나가요? 저기 나가요? 괜찮아? 여기 나가요? 네네. It's been 5 days since the flood. The water has subsided, and looks like a lot of the reeds on the side, the riverbanks, have also been flattened out, which makes it easier for me to get down to the water. It's the Chuseok Sunday today, or Chuseok was yesterday, I guess. Today is the Sunday following the Chuseok, and I'm heading out on the river again because it's plus 22, and well, I didn't think I was going to be able to get out on the river again before the season's over, but it turns out that I am. So that's cool. Get a nice little, look at this sandbank here that formed due to the typhoon. I could have started further up the river because it looks like the water is looking quite nice, and it's pretty deep, but I don't know how far up the river the shallows have diminished. The first trip that I ever took, I spent a lot more time carrying the board over rocks and stuff than anything else, but right now I think the water level is quite high. At least it's higher than the first few times that I was on the river. The water looks clean. Sunrise is about 6 o'clock, which is right now. As you can see on the horizon, it's just about to pop out. Wow, time to go. That was a long recording. This is a new side, a bit muddy over here. Normally I start off to the right and go on that side. This is a new part of the river that's opened up just now. Cleared up some of the reeds and opened up a nice sandy bank. That's kind of cool. A bunch of cranes. Let's see how the little rapids are over here. Last time I went over the rapids and got stuck in a rock, and there's a massive scratch on the bottom of the board, so I don't think I'll be doing that again. Maybe I'll just carry the board over. Yeah, the river is looking a little bit murky. Sideways. I'll go straight over this time. Woohoo! Nice, so far so good. Major rocks. We'll just pass one. There's definitely rocks. We're managing. Nice. Oh, this was fun. This was a fun ride down. Nice. Yeah, there's plenty of water now. That is a good one. Plenty of water. Keep the board from scraping on rocks. Means the river must be nice and full as well. I'm gonna head over to a shallow part and put the fin back on. There are a few more islets than prior to the typhoon. Water levels are definitely up. The sand is just settling down. I guess the water still looks a little bit murky. There are these random currents running over the shallows that were here before, which makes paddle boarding a little bit swifter. So that's kind of cool. But it's shaping up to be a glorious morning again. Sunrise on the horizon, looking pretty nice. It's the 10th, 11th. Today is the 11th of September. Very nice morning so far. Normally I have to carry the board over this part of the river, just over here through this little pass, and it's normally full of reeds. Right now I'll still have to dismount, get off the board, but as you can see, no reeds. The water levels are spectacular. The fact that they're so high up, water is so high, it makes it a lot easier to get by through some of the parts of the river. All of this was flooded. You can see the reeds are flat on the ground. I can actually see over the little hills here, over the sandbanks, which wasn't possible before. It was all obscured by the reeds. Right now, all of it is down. This is the spot where the fishermen hung out that one time, and just past it is a little pass. We'll see what that looks like. I guess the one that was mainly affected by this flood was the wildlife. You can imagine that there's like countless nests, bird nests that were swept away. Oh, 안녕하세요. But there was a fisherman. I totally missed him. I didn't see him. He was on the other side of the river. I almost ran into his floaties. So yeah, this part looks pretty devastated. This was a nice, sweet little ecosystem with lily pads, bird's nest. Now it looks like a typhoon went through it, which it alternately did. Uprooted trees. All these trees are literally uprooted here along the banks. side, going over some rocks instead of being in the middle of that little rapid. Let's see what things look like here. If you're wondering, that's how high the water was. This is like good 5 meters up in the air. All that stuff got swept up. The bridge up ahead, same thing. Up a few good meters. Oh, that's pretty wild. I've made it to the dock where I usually stop by, and the dock looks a bit decimated. It looks all turned around and wacky. Hello. Yes, hi. Yes. Hi. Oh, hi. How are you? What am I doing? I'm. That's good. Yeah. Very good. See you later. So I was here during the typhoon, and the water level here was crazy. It was really high up, and right now the water level is receded, but as you can see, the river, it's still pretty high. Nice day. The dip in the water was nice. A lot warmer than it was on my last trip here, to be honest. Like last time when I started the day it was 18 degrees in the morning, or maybe even 16. Today it was 22, so it's still warm. I made it down this river in record time. It's been only 2 hours 17 minutes, not counting the break, which is about 20 minutes. So altogether I guess about 2 hours 40 minutes plus or minus. And I'm approaching the rail tracks, are just up ahead, and I'm in this cove or whatever it's called here, I don't know, but the reeds, these reeds were massive just a couple of weeks ago, or I guess last week before the flood, before the typhoon. They were tall enough for me to hide behind and go number one. They're not tall enough. Two reasons, I guess. They were laid flat by the water, and also the water level has risen significantly. There's a duck that, these ducks look like loons, but they're not loons, but they do certainly look like loons with their long beaks, flat heads. In any case, I'm in the mood. The water looks pretty calm here, so I'm gonna head out to Bangojin and see how far we go. Maybe, who knows, maybe I'll head around the corner and I'll end up in Ulsan beach. It's still early in the day, only 9 o'clock. Like I said, I made it here in record time. Plenty of time to cause more damage. Spider on a lens. The sea's nice and calm here, or the river, the delta. Nice and calm. Chances are I'll feel a bit more, I'll feel braver going out there. I might do it. I might head out over to the boats. Catching logs. Ahead is the Ulsan Bridge, and I'm heading straight for that sucker. This officially is the farthest I've ever been. We're out here. I'm gonna head out past the bridge, see how far I can go, see if anybody's gonna boot me out. If nobody does kick me out, I'll just continue paddling all the way into the sea. Maybe I'll end up on Ulsan beach, who knows? See how that goes. See how the waves roll. I am at the foot of the bridge, and it just hit me. Well, I just remembered that I get quite seasick when I'm out on the sea, and it gets so bouncy. It takes me about 30 minutes to get really sick. That's at least my last experience. And here I am bobbing up and down. Being out on the river is very different. This is very different. And the sea, the water here is a bit bouncy, man. I hope I don't get sick, because that would suck. Oh man. I want to point something out. You know how in Lord of the Rings, there is a scene where, I don't remember who, but there's a bunch of people cruising down the river, and they're passing these giant monuments of kings or whatever, and they look so huge compared to the people. And it makes you think like, wow, this is really sci-fi from a different time. I'd like to bring your attention to this bridge. This bridge is colossal. I'm just underneath it, and I'm looking from that pillar to this pillar. This pillar is massive. I look like a tiny little ant compared to it. So it's not so unfathomable to think that humans could construct these colossal sculptures. I mean, it's just a matter of making this a bit rounder, thicker, and slapping some concrete, faces on top of it. Very doable. This bridge is massive. I think I'm gonna head right over here and head into Jangsunpo rather than Ulsan beach. We'll see where the water takes me before I get motion sick, before I get seasick. I'm not 100% sure, but there may be a giant ship heading my way, or vice versa. I may be heading for the giant ship. Oh brother. I think Jangsunpo is just around the corner here somewhere. Coast Guard chilling out here. I'm pretty sure Jangsunpo is right there. Those are the buildings here. Well, since I've gotten this far, how much further can I go? Here's HHI here. Probably doing something illegal by filming some of it, but it's not like I'm going to exploit stuff you can see off the shore anyway. So. There's a boat heading towards me. Oh shoot, this should be fun. Not really. See if I can wither this storm. 네? 여기요? 나가요? 저기 안 돼요? 저기 안 돼요? 여기 나가요? 여기 나가요? 괜찮아요? 네? 저기 안 돼요? 여기 나가요? 저기 나가요? 괜찮아? 여기 나가요? 네네. 네. 구영리에서. 네네. 알겠어요. made it past the Ulsan bridge and then got kicked off the water by the Coast Guard. I was told I couldn't go past further into, definitely not into Ulsan beach. So that's what I've got. I'm stuck here like an idiot. People looking at me because they're working, and I'm just leisurely chilling out in my freaking in my suit. What are these dudes here? There's like a boat coming in with refugees. Foreign workers probably busting their humps working here. Well, I managed to get out of water before getting really sick. So apparently this is not okay here. Maybe due to the fact that there are giant boats passing me by. But I got to swim in the muck. There's a boat kicking up a storm. It's just parked here, docked rather, idling, and kicking up a mess of oil and crap. So my board is covered up in all kinds of goo. I gotta whiz and find my way back home. First I gotta pack up. But yeah, that's an adventure and a half. But I guess, yeah, it's not really feasible to get through here and get into Ulsan beach. But the whale museum, there's that's the new village, I think, the whale village. So I'm just around the corner here. I should be able to catch a bus or something. I better stop recording before cops come and tell me I have to delete everything. Yeah. Well, this certainly is one for the books. That's a story and a half. So after the Coast Guard asked me very politely to get off the water, I did so. I pulled my board up onto the shore and began to buckle myself up to clean up everything, and within the next 10 minutes or so a security car pulled up, and I was asked some questions which I couldn't really answer because I didn't understand actually what he was asking me. I told the security guard that I've swam down the river all the way from Guyongli, and that I was basically, yeah, that's what happened. And we couldn't really understand each other, so he told me to get in the car, and we drove down to the office of the port guard police, the port authority. And then the police were called, and I basically spent the past 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours, sitting and waiting for the police to take statements. They took my IDs. Luckily I didn't have any IDs with me. Luckily I was able to find pictures on my phone of my passport and my Korean ID. They wanted to know how long I've been in Korea. When I came here, they called up Jaegyong just to confirm that I was married, that I've been living in Korea for a long time, and that I had a business, and I'm not some scoundrel that came in from the sea somewhere trying to steal some secrets. So yeah, that's an ordeal and a half. I was let go basically, but I was told that if I was ever caught there again, then I'd be put into shackles. If you're ever out on the Tewa River, make sure that your final destination is at the Ulsan Bridge, because going past that, actually even before the Ulsan Bridge, going past that can get you into some serious trouble. And I guess I pretty much escaped with my hide intact without having to pay any fines. It was just a warning. And so now I walk the walk of shame. I gotta walk myself all the way down to Yeomdong and find a T-bike, because in this area there are no T-bikes, and then hopefully then make my way home. My goal was to actually get down to Ulsan beach, but while I was paddling below beneath the bridge, the water was a bit shaky, it was a bit bouncy. I gotta take a huge piss. Let's hope the cops don't see that, me running around crossing the road. My initial goal was to make my way all the way to Ulsan beach in Bangojin, but then after I realized that I may be getting a little seasick, and I also felt a little uneasy with swimming out into the open sea and going through the port. Actually, to be honest, I decided to go into Jangsinpo, which was just around a corner, and literally the Coast Guard pulled me over, or approached me. The Coast Guard approached me a couple meters before the bend to Jangsinpo, and so I was made to get out of the water, which probably in retrospect was a big mistake, because if I had just turned around and made my way back on the river, along the river, instead of getting off the river, getting off the water and onto the land, nothing would have happened. I would have just cruised back up the river and then made my way back to the T-bike and been home free. But instead, getting out on the land caused me to breach some kind of security. I think I trespassed on the port authorities' property there, and so I was booked in, and literally the gate where I was deflating my board was like 100 meters away, 100 meters ahead. If I had deflated my board faster and packed up quicker, I would have left that place just as quickly without having to go through this whole ordeal. Ah well, I got a few hundred more meters to go before I get to a T-bike anywhere. Hot diggity, I walked all the way to Samsendong. That's where the bike is. The Ferris wheel is right in front of me. That is crazy. I didn't even realize this is where I would end up. It's a bit nuts, so I walked a long way. I'd swing by the foreign market, but maybe I got some grub there. I think I see my bike. I think I see my ride. This part of the river is deep enough to take a board on, I think. Hey! 안녕하세요. Found myself right next to the Ulsan library. That's pretty wild. I'm ways out of the river circumference, but fear not, heading back down to the river. Guess today I'm gonna drive down along the other side of the river. Because it seems that's where I am already. And you know what? I'm gonna take a back alley here so I don't bob around on the sidewalk. I'm gonna take the other side of the river today and make my way back home to Guyongli. Today we're taking the other side of the river for a change. A change is in order. Sweet, here's the bike connection to the bike path, and we're by the river. Back on the course for today, despite the adventures. We're back on the course. I haven't taken the bike here on this side of the river yet. I always tend to ride on the other side, obviously. So this is new, very new. And let's see where it takes us. Well, this ends this day's wacky adventure. Just to conclude, while I was at the Port Authority, they asked me a bunch of questions like, where did you go in the water? Where did you come out of the water? Why did you go in the water? Were you by yourself? Where is your team? Why are you by yourself? Why are you doing this? All these questions. I guess, I don't know. It feels almost like adults like to play this, you know, spy game or something, like there's something in the air that needs to be looked after, I don't know, as if they were fishing to find out whether I was a spy or if I was on some kind of secret mission to find some information, secret information or whatever. It just feels a bit over the top. I don't know, it's Port Authority, right? There's like security. What am I doing there? Am I stealing information? There was a bunch of cranes. That's it. There was just a bunch of brand spanking new cranes. There was nothing else. Bunch of garbage, some boats standing around. You know, stuff that you could find on the internet without having to go to Port Authority. And besides, even you can see all that stuff off the shore. Like whatever's in the bay, you can see off the shore. You don't need to sneak up and gather information on whatever they've got, because there's really nothing there anyway. Anyway, that's it. That's it for the wacky adventure today. Make sure to smash up the likes or the like button. Make sure to smash up the like button. Make sure to hit the like button on the video if you liked the video. I'm sure you did. Subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification button, and come back for more adventures, wacky adventures on the Living Korea channel. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye. I had to write a statement detailing all of that as well. all of that in English, obviously, because I can't write Korean. And you know, the police said just do it. And on the statement I had to be as detailed as possible. I had to stamp it with my thumb, smeared in red ink, which made it look like blood, and maybe that's the purpose. And it just, all of it felt over the top. There were like 3 cops came, and I think 4 or 5 customs patrol, the police, customs police, and like I said, felt very over the top. But everybody was very nice. They were accommodating. They just had to fill out the paperwork. In the end, one guy came in, I guess. The police concluded their investigation, and then the customs officers had to do their part, and they waited for the superior to arrive, who asked me the whole questions, you know, on the detective side of teams and why I'm there and stuff. But everybody was, like I said, formally nice, and it was concluded without any hiccups. But I did overhear talk of Big Manon, which is, I guess normally there would have been a fine of 1,000,000 won, so I guess I got away with a slap on my wrist. And yeah, if I were Korean, maybe would have gone a little bit differently, this ordeal. But since I was an ignorant foreigner, which is also something I heard, not the ignorant part, but foreigner several times, and they went ahead and assumed correctly that I had no idea what I was doing, because I seriously didn't know that I wasn't allowed to get into that part of the water. And again, I think if I had turned around in the water and not had gotten out of the water, if I had stayed on the water, I would have just had to turn around and go back, and none of that would have happened. There would be no police involved. Things would have looked very differently. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification button for, so you don't miss any other fun videos, any other fun adventures on the Live in Korea channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.